Hello friends, today we're gonna make a very easy recipe. It's gonna be um, chicken stew. Very easy, very easy. Doesn't take a lot of ingredients. Um, Once you get familiar with the ingredients that we use in Latin cooking, it's basically the same thing. But every time you taste different recipes, for beans, for rice, for chicken, beef, pork, even though you're using the same seasonings and the same ingredients, the flavors change completely. Okay, so it's a very frugal meal, very easy. I mean, it's very easy once you master the base that is really the sofrito. You can do so many things with sofrito. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the ingredients that we're gonna need, and you're gonna see a lot of the ingredients that I'm telling you to always have it in your kitchen. It's because you're gonna be using it all the time, and you're gonna see it. I mean, it's cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money getting a lot of different spices. It's basically the same thing. Okay, so the ingredients that we're gonna need for the chicken stew. Oh, one more thing. If you go to a Latin or Spanish restaurants in like, I don't know, different states, and if it's a Caribbean like restaurant, usually they call it like pollo guisado. They call it let me see what else they call it, pollo en fricassé. So once you see those little names in the menu, so you already know that it's really like chicken stew. Okay, with a different, maybe here and there, different flavors, different styles, and I don't know, but it's basically the same thing. Depending on Dominican Republic, they do it one way. Cubans do it in another way. In the Caribbean, maybe they just do their own little spin, but it's basically the same thing. Okay, so Puerto Ricans, we just basically do, I mean, very simple. I think it's a matter of you being creative and adding, I don't know, a little bit of spin of this, or maybe putting maybe a few more ingredients if you want to add, like I don't know, peppers, onions, and just to enhance the flavor is really up to you. But if you want to like make it into a way that is going to be very frugal and very economical, where you don't have to spend that much money, but you're going to have an incredible flavor, so you just go for the basic stuff. Okay, so let's mentioning the ingredients. Okay, what I'm gonna be, because it's a small batch, what I'm gonna do is gonna be only for 2 people. And usually, honestly, if you don't eat a lot, I mean, if you eat in moderation, the amount of meat that I'm having, that is just a little bit of meat, can last you like 2 days. So you will have leftovers for lunch, or if you don't feel like eating a heavy lunch, you can just leave it for the next day, for, I don't know, I mean, if you don't feel like cooking, so you have food leftovers, so this way you can enjoy a nice meal again for the next day. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna need sazon. The sazon that we're gonna be using is the one without annatto, and this is the one that don't have any color. Why I'm using this one? Because I can use the one that has annatto, right? That is, you see the difference between one package and the other. So the one without annatto is white with the letters Sazon Goya. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm giving promotion for that, but just this way you can see the difference. The other one that has annatto has the orange background. You see? This one has the white background. This one has an orange one. The orange one is the one with color. So why I'm using this one? Because I want my meat to have color, but not that much, not that deep color. Okay, So I'm gonna be using one of the regular one without color and half of the other package with color. This way it's not gonna be so orangey or too deep, okay, the color, okay? So I mean, it's my taste, but if you having I don't know, a large quantity of meat, then you can just use this one, but this is a matter of preference, okay? So this is what I'm going to be using, 1.5, one without color, 1.5 of the one with color, okay? So we're going to be using common, and we're going to be using oregano, okay? This is but the ones that I'm using is ground, okay? I know in a lot of states it's hard to find the ground, but you can always like find it online, okay? If not, you can just use the regular one. It will, I mean, at the end it will give you the same results, okay? We're gonna be using bay leaves, and you have to remember the bay leaves comes like in this thing right here, the plastics jars. But remember, you still have to wash the leaves because it comes with dirt inside. We're gonna be using, of course, tomato sauce. We're gonna wash the meat with vinegar, white vinegar, and let me see what else. Oh, of course, very important. We're gonna be using sofrito, okay? If you don't have the homemade sofrito, you can just buy the ones that I showed you already in my previous videos. And of course, we're gonna add potatoes and carrots just to thicken the sauce more, okay? But you see, it's very easy, very frugal. I mean, once you have all these ingredients, it's basically the same thing, okay? So we're gonna start doing the video. Oh, and you can always add a little bit of olive oil. This way maybe the sauce is a little bit more how can I say, it's not gonna, maybe the ingredients or maybe the potatoes is not gonna stick at the bottom. But remember, you always get some grease from the meat because of the, you know, because of the skin and everything of the meat, and the way it's cooking is gonna release their own natural oils from the skin, okay? So let's gonna start doing the recipe, and you're gonna see how tasty it is, okay? I'll be right back. Hey friends, more or less this is the amount of meat that I have. You see, it's not a lot of pieces. I mean, but you can make a big batch of the chickens too, okay? But more or less that's how it is. We're gonna run the cold water, and we're gonna add, of course, let me see if you guys can see the vinegar, okay? So we're gonna put a little bit of amount of vinegar, and then we're just gonna make sure that we clean the meat like we always do. Let the water run, and that's it, okay? So we're gonna do it one more time just to make sure that the vinegar is out of the meat. And remember, that little bit of vinegar is gonna tenderize the meat too, so it's gonna help the meat cook faster, okay? So that's it, okay? So we're gonna start making the stew. Okay, we have the chicken, so we're gonna add the water, okay? And we're gonna add the water more or less to cover the meat, and just to have enough water for the potatoes to get tender, okay? So more or less a little bit more than half, okay? And now many people they will do the stew just like that with just plain water. In the ingredients I didn't mention, but you can always add chicken bouillon, okay, just to enhance a little bit more the flavor of the stew, okay? But some people, they just, if you don't have it, that doesn't mean that it's not gonna come out good, because you're still gonna get the flavor from the chicken while it's cooking, okay? And it's gonna, you know, flavor the water and everything. But just to add a little bit of salt, because of the chicken bouillon has salt, so we're gonna add a little bit, okay? Maybe I will say maybe like a teaspoon, okay? And then we're gonna add the sazon without color. This is the one that is just plain without color. So, and then we're gonna add the other one, half of the one that has the annatto, okay? So this one is only half of the package, okay? And we're gonna add the cumin and the oregano, okay? So how much? I don't know. You can just add it by eye. I mean, in our cooking, in our Caribbean cooking, we don't have I don't know, measurements for that. Is everything is by eye, like they say, okay? So and so we're gonna make sure that we mix everything, and you guys can see more or less that is still look a little bit like orangey, but it's not as deep as is you like if you use a whole pack of the one with the color, okay? So we wanted to have some color but not a lot of color, okay? So then we're gonna add a little bit of the sauce, the tomato sauce, because remember the sauce is gonna give more color too, so that's why I don't want to add a lot of the other color. So more or less, and remember the sauce is gonna thicken the sauce too, okay? So we're gonna add that. You guys can see now that it's gonna get color because of the sauce, not because of more of the annatto. It's mainly because of the sauce. So we're gonna add the sofrito. Let me see if I can get a spoon. Forgot about getting the spoon. So more or less a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, depending on how you have to remember sofrito. It gives a lot of flavor even with a little bit of that you add. You don't have to add a lot, okay? So the simple the better, because that means it's gonna taste more like chicken than sofrito, than spices, okay? And let me see what else. We're gonna add the carrots and the potatoes. I mean, some people, they just wait for the chicken to start like cooking, but honestly it doesn't matter. Some people just do it all together. I just want to simplify everything this way. It's easy and it's fast for you guys. And we're gonna add some of the bay leaves, okay? So with 1 or 2 bay leaves is enough, okay? So let me just wash it real quick, and then we're gonna add it. Okay, sometimes it comes all broken like that, but just you see I already washed it. So we're gonna add that, and then we're just gonna let it cook. It's just a matter now of you put it in. The flame that you're gonna be using is gonna be like a medium low flame for the chicken to cook, because remember, it's not a lot of pieces. This is for 2 people. So we're just gonna let it like boil, and then we're gonna wait until the chicken is done. And you have to remember, you just cook by itself. We're gonna add a little bit of the olive oil just to make sure. You guys can see over here a little bit of olive oil. That's it. Just maybe like a maybe like a little tablespoon of olive oil. And oops, we're gonna let it like boil and just make sure that the meat is tender, okay? And that's it. You just, if you want, you can just cover the pot like halfway, just to avoid, I don't know, maybe splash or something. But it's up to you. You can just leave it like that and let it cook. Let it reduce the water when it starts thickens and stuff, and you just more or less it's gonna take maybe half an hour to start boiling and start cooking. Maybe like 1 hour and a half, more or less. I will see how this one goes, and then more or less I will tell you exactly how long it took, okay? It's more or less, it's been like 20 minutes. this is how it look. You guys can see that the color is not as deep as the ones that I have here. You guys can see I'm doing beans, and this bean has pumpkin instead of potato, and it has pieces of ham. Okay, but you guys can see the difference between that color of the meat and the color of the beans. And remember, they have exactly the same ingredients that I'm using in the chicken. It's the same thing that I'm having with the beans. The only difference is the bean has instead of potato has pumpkin, and it has ham. But if I wanted to instead of using the pumpkin, just add potatoes to the beans, it would be the same thing. It will still have the same color, okay? But it's just everything always like change completely when we do Spanish cooking. More or less has been 1 hour. Is the liquid has reduced a lot, but we still have to wait until it thickens a little bit more and is less liquid, okay? But more or less this is the progress of the chicken stew. And from time to time you can always like move the pieces around this way just to make sure that nothing sticks at the bottom, okay? But we're gonna let it like reduce a little bit more, okay? Okay friends, more or less it took 1 hour and 15 minutes to cook. You guys can see how much water got reduced, and just make the delicious broth. So we're just gonna turn it off, and we're just gonna serve it. Friends, this is more or less how we eat it in Puerto Rico, in the Caribbean. Usually it's with beans, white rice, some sweet plantains, and of course the stewed chicken. Okay, so now we're gonna taste it. So now we're gonna do the testing, okay? So let's try to see how the meat turned out, okay? So the way I eat it, very particular. I like to add hot sauce. If you never tried the hot sauce from the Goya brand, this is good stuff, especially when you put it in the beans like this or over the chicken. It's good stuff if you like spicy food, okay? So let's try. Let's see how the chicken is. This is the chicken. This is a very, very, very delicious meal. Sorry about the noise. My granddaughter, she's here. But it's really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Try the recipe, and you're not gonna regret it. It's a very frugal, delicious meal, and you get a lot of stuff. This is a meal that you can feed a good amount of people in your family, okay? So I hope you like the video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.
I'm sorry guys, but this is good food. I'm telling you, white rice, beans, and chicken is the best. I hope you enjoy the meal. Bye bye.